I'm never concerned with volume when I'm scalping. So if we're talking about scalping, which you are, because you wouldn't be putting that much into volume or the candles, I assume you're talking about scalping, right? I hope so.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, because you really don't
That's
have
what
to
I've been
put.
focusing on. That's the
Okay.
trade that I've been able to do for
Okay.
time purposes.
Gotcha. Here's the only thing I ever care about with volume, right? Number one, first thing I always look at is over here just to see where it is generally for the day. The only reason is because I want my volume to be over the normal average volume if it's going in one direction or the other, because typically that means it'll stay in that way. And if that doesn't make sense to some of you, what it is that what the metric means is if it's in its normal volume range and it's doing one thing or the other, it's probably going to just stay in that pattern. But if you get a huge influx of volume, it could really start to shift the dynamics of what it is. If you guys have, and by saying that, you guys have seen when hedge funds come in and buy up, when somebody comes in and starts, Elon starts selling a ton, the volume increases. So this is the only thing I care about as far as volume goes. When I'm scalping, the only thing I'm watching, I don't even look at this volume. I don't care what's happening to volume. Volume means nothing literally to me at all when I'm scalping. Do you see this? I don't care.
Yep.
It doesn't help me in one way or the other. What I am watching for volume though is here. What I mean by that is, you see how slow this candle's moving?
Yep.
There's no volume in it. That's all I care about. When it goes, now that means like this. You see how it just did it?
Yeah.
That's volume coming in. That tells me that it could continue into that direction. That is a volume candle. That's all I care about when I'm day trading. Because the whole time, like this candle, all I've been watching for is I wanted to break this candle body's high, which is now this is an engulfing candle to the upside. Now I'm watching it's coming up on the 200-minute resistance to see if this is going to pull back or not. But this, as far as volume goes, that's all I care about.
So it's more about the momentum, like
Yes,
how fast it's going to move.
100%, because I am what's
Okay.
called a momentum trader. That is exactly nailed it verbatim what I'm watching
That
as a trader. Yep.
that's perfect. No, I remember you talking about not focusing on the volume down below, and you just
Yes.
looked at the candlesticks. But I think that was the piece that I was missing, because I was looking at the size of the
Yeah.
candlesticks and not necessarily how fast they were moving.
Yep, exactly. And just like this, even if this sat in this range, but this candle started, it basically starts flickering, it's gonna have a big impact, right? That's because there's more volume
Right.
getting ready to come in, which tells me as a scalper, like, hey, you better be ready in one direction or the other. This is literally, it's when it looks like that, think of it like it's shaking, like it's ready to blast off, right? So when I watch the candle and I call that dancing, when the candle starts dancing, like this is normal. All this is normal so far. Now it's not moving from here to here. It's just sitting here like flatline. It's not doing anything yet.
Yep.
If this starts flickering, ding, 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 you're going to notice it right away. And that's when I tell all you, hey, volume's coming in. So if it was on a downward trend and this candle starts flickering, that means it's probably going to still crash, but really hard this time. If it's going trending to the upside and I see the candle start ding, 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 it's going to blast to the upside because volume's coming. Trend is your friend, and the volume helps me to know it's going to be explosive when it does it, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. And you guys will notice too, whenever it sits on one of these huge levels of support or resistance, you'll notice it'll sit here and do this, do this, do this. And then you'll see this candle get over exaggerated. It'll flicker. It'll literally look, it's down, up, down, up, down, up. Like just looks like it's ready to move. That's because people start piling in when it's on one of these ranges, which increases volume. And the volume is what's going to give you the nice explosion in one direction or other. Without it, the stock's going to look like Ford all day, right? And this is why I tell you guys to stay in Ford, because it just checkerboards. You see the difference?
Yep.
Because there's really no battle between up and down. It's just like, sure, it's by a penny, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? But it's beautiful because it also doesn't rip your face off like where Tesla is moving, $8, it's up here at 197. Now it's at 194. And then it was 192. Like it can just drastically, right? Just do ridiculousness. I mean, look at this candle. Look at these. These are 1 minute candles. So in 7 or 8 minutes, it went from 197 down to like 193 in 7 minutes, right? That's ridiculous. And now look at it bleeding off.
Right.
So, and again, I'm just watching the volume. How is it reacting? Does it actually matter? But great question. But that's how I use it. And everybody, Now, remember, here's the other caveat to this. Okay. The one time I do look at the volume down here, the only time I look at the volume down here is, can you answer this question, Mitch? Are you in here? If you're in here,
I'm in here. What's up?
the only time I'm really watching down here is what am I watching for? And then what does it mean when it happens typically? There's only one thing I ever care about when I'm looking at this volume level ever at all. One thing, and one thing only.
Huge
A big
spikes.
spike would be an institutional investor, maybe.
You're right. I'm looking at a giant spike because typically it will spell what?
Either a reversal
There it is.
or usually a reversal. Yep.
Usually
An
a
attempt to
reversal.
reverse it.
Yep, it usually does. So the only time I ever care down here is when I see something and look at what exactly happened here, drove it up, and then guess what it's done since.
Yep.
I mean, if you literally look at this whole thing, this is the biggest candle, and it instantly, when it did that, told it, I'm out. Right? So that's the
Right.
other. Does that make sense, Mike?
No, that makes perfect sense. And I will say, even though it's very out of my comfort zone as far as trading goes, since I have adopted that kind of less indicator, less technical analysis, I've actually become way more successful, even
that's
smaller
good.
base hits. But
Yeah.
I mean,
really good.
I very rarely have a red day.
Yeah,
So
no, I
thank
like
you.
it.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah, great job.